Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the second video in a series that I'm calling Reclaiming Our Sovereignty. The idea or the fire to create this particular series came from within as a response to this increasing sense of doom, gloom, crisis, misery, a sense of angst, confusion that I see around me. And as a result of world events, as a result of one crisis upon another crisis, and because we live in such an interconnected world, it seems like we cannot really insulate ourselves from what's happening around the world. But I do know from my own journey of nearly 10 years, yeah, a little bit over a decade, that it is ultimately coming into a sense of power, into our own personal power, into a sense of sovereignty that will eventually be that leading light. It'll be that North Star that'll keep us going regardless of what is happening out there on the world stage, what political leaders are doing, who's waging war on who. It is when we are not sovereign, it is when we are, it's when we're not sovereign that we're easily manipulated and hijacked by the agendas of governments, the agendas of news channels, the agendas of the financial systems, the agendas of all various other systems, your pharmaceutical, your educational systems, institutions. And so I decided to create these series where I address one topic in every video as a way into sovereignty. So in the last video, I talked about creating a very intimate relationship with our food. Because as we know, our food now, we've pretty much, in the industrialized world, outsourced our food production. We do not know where it's grown, where it's processed, whose hands it's come through to us, and what has been sprayed on it, what chemicals, pesticides has been put into it. And which has meant that we are, again, not sovereign beings because big corporations, big business, big tech, are basically hijacking our bodies, right? They're hijacking our health and well-being, and we have given that power away to them, which has made us very unwell and made us very sick. So sovereignty, sometimes we can define a term in many different ways, but sometimes I define terms by defining what it's not. So sovereignty is not giving our power away to anything, person or system external to us. So when we don't give our power away, we are sovereign. We make the choices from our own internal wisdom, not from fear. When we make choices out of fear, we're easy targets for manipulation. And so that is why I decided to create these series as like I guess, many different ways in which we can explore how we can reclaim our sovereignty, because it is our essential birthright. We are sovereign beings. We were born with our personal power, and then we slowly lose it to all sorts of circumstances. So as I said in the first video, I talked about reclaiming that relationship back with food, right? Cultivating a relationship with the plant kingdom, starting to grow our food, even if it's small steps, or supporting local farmers. This particular video, I wanted to talk about reclaiming our sovereignty by reclaiming our village. So what has happened due to the industrialization, due to neoliberal capitalism, we have lost the sense of our village. We've lost sense of living in community. And human beings are essentially social beings. We are tribal beings, right? And if you look at this from the chakra view of the human chakra, our lowest chakra, the Muladhara chakra, is associated with a sense of safety and security, which comes from our tribal connections, from our connections into our community. That's how essential it is. So our root chakra, when it's not balanced, causes all sorts of illnesses, all sorts of disorders in our mind and body. And so what has happened due to mass industrialization, due to the growth of these dense concrete jungles, these cities that have necessitated people moving into them for economic reasons, for income, for livelihoods, we've essentially lost our village. And so in this video, I wanted to encourage those of you that are feeling this angst and this sense of like worry and confusion of the state of about the state of the world, and you're wondering what's going on, where are we headed, this feels like, apocalyptic. No, it feels apocalyptic because the old system as we know is dying. It cannot sustain us any longer. We're called to remember our ancient ways of living that honored interconnectedness, interdependence, community, connection, communion, reverence for nature and the natural world. So how can we recreate our village when we live in, when we've left the village? I have come so far away from where my my grandparents, my mother's parents actually did live in a little village in Punjab, in India. And here I am living in a little country town outside Melbourne in Australia. Right, I've moved far away from my ancestral village. And most of us are economic migrants. We have moved so far away from where our ancestors lived due to work, due to study, due to, as I said, we need livelihoods, due to marriages. We found partners somewhere else. The human race has literally migrated and mass migrated and moved across the globe so much that most of us do not know where our ancestral, like we don't have any connection with our ancestral village. And so we must recreate the village. We must recreate it and reclaim it wherever we are. We start wherever we are. It doesn't matter whether you're in the building in a very, like a high-rise tower building in Manhattan, or you're in London or Tokyo, or like in a country village in Australia, or wherever. It doesn't matter anymore. It is about creating your village wherever you are. And how do we create our village? We start by finding out who lives next to us. We start by connecting with our neighbors first and getting to know them, and then start to exchange services, goods with your neighbors. Start asking for help when you need help. Start giving help. Ask them how you can help them. Start creating that interdependence, because when we start creating that interdependence, we start to feel safer. We're so dysregulated at the moment because of world events, because they're creating this intense sense of unsafety in our nervous systems, because the village isn't behind us to hold us, to back us up. And so when we return to the village, the world events will impact us way less, because we have built our own local community. We've built our own social safety structure, because it is about safety. The village is about, safety and backup and security, and, this sense of, I'm not alone. I'm not this lone warrior out there. So yeah, as I said, getting to know our neighbors, getting to know our, and extending that sphere of influence and going outwards, and then see how far you can grow your village. And it's very important to definitely exchange goods and exchange services, even if that's exchanging meals, or childcare, or mowing each other's lawns, or I don't know, watering each other's plants when someone's away. But really, like that is so important to start to do. And the technology today, it's a double-edged sword, but it does help in recreating the village, because you can create a WhatsApp group, you can create a Signal, Telegram group, you can start to, introduce yourself and say, I've seen people create a WhatsApp group for their building and then start to create this community around it and start to share things in that community. And we can use the help of technology and reclaim that sense of community. and take it as we can take it as far as we want to, but it really, yeah, starts with your neighbors on all sides of you, and getting to know them. So I'll end here. I mean, I don't want to go into solutions, and I don't want to go into how we create the village and how we do this, because I feel like all of us know how to. I just wanted to raise just this. I just wanted to, yeah, just kind of raise this interest in creating the village, and I know that most of you will go out there and you know exactly how you will do it. Thank you for being with me.